All right, I'll call to order the committee of the whole for Tuesday, October 14th. Let the record show that all aldermen are present. First on the agenda is the homelessness task force update. Before we get that update from the mayor, I wanted to say a few words on that. Kind of touch on a personal level and then some other things. Immediately after I turned 17, my grandmother passed away from pancreatic cancer. She had just beaten breast cancer, so to me, it was a shocker being a teen. It was the year I was going to my senior year. So within a month, I received a letter stating that I needed to move out of the projects. So I was on the verge of being homeless. Of course, things worked out perfectly for me, but there are a lot of people out there that aren't so fortunate. So we don't always know why these people end up on the streets. And I was lucky with my situation. The city of Olean is experiencing large city problems, but this isn't isolated. And I was just involved over the weekend while I was watching their news. One of the council members stated something that I thought was important to share. And they stated that we must do as much as we can, even if it's a little. They said, and then we're one step closer to achieving our goals. So with that, I started asking myself, so what is Olean's goal? I've received numerous complaints, emails. I've heard rumors of program for shelter in the city. We've also had blatant offenses from trespassing on the dikes, in our wood lines. No matter which end of town you go to, there's people living in the wood lines. There's people coming on private property. We've had the garbage issues, loitering, and granted, loitering is a slippery slope because we don't want to profile, but it's an issue within the city. Theft of shopping carts. We've all seen the shopping carts around town. So with that, sometimes we hear that people decline assistance. And if that's the case, what's our next step? Surely we can't leave these people on the street corners and because that's inhumane. And if you're an addict, how long do we maintain our empathy for you before it turns into anger? I'm going to be honest, after the trash cans were filled at the Allegheny Trail, if some of you have seen my post, I posted a picture. I emailed the mayor about getting a trash can down there, and then it wasn't even a week, and garbage was just overfilled down there where someone threw their garbage. I saw somewhere in a post where someone said that it may have been the people that live down there in the woods. And I'm gonna be frank, I wanted to get my walking stick, my walking tall stick, if you guys remember that 80s show, and just go down there and have a little walk down there and just have a friendly conversation. But that's not the way to handle things. Personally, I'd like to hear something, informational statistics from our police department on how they're coping with dealing with this from a law enforcement perspective. Everyone is feeling this, everyone is dealing with this, and it would be nice if we can get a constructive conversation going on this particular topic. We've already done it once, and the result was a homelessness task force, so hopefully we can get some information from the city on where they are and where they move from that. And also, Alderwoman McCall is also part of that task force. Maybe she has some information to update us on that as well. So with that, Mayor?
Yes, thank you. We have had numerous meetings with great attendance. The task force is very engaged and is working to find solutions to problems. This is not as you said, this is not an Olean specific. It's found in many communities throughout the state and the nation. Based on the pit count, which was completed in January, as a federal mandate, there were 68 homeless individuals in Cattaraugus County, 3 of which were unsheltered. One unsheltered was in Olean and did not want to engage at all. The numbers of unsheltered seem to increase in the summer. Our police officers do engage with them and try to get them help. If they refrain from help, they have every right to be on public property until the parks close at 10 p.m. There is plenty of help available, and the county, the hospital, shelters work very well together to find solutions for those who want help. Unfortunately, many of these homeless choose that lifestyle. Some sometimes due to mental health issues. New York State, during the budget process, changed the law to help these with mental health issues, and it's committed funding of up to $16 million for more hospital beds and training. Olean General Hospital has or will be receiving a portion of that grant funding. The committee has discussed some ideas for local issues. For example, our public restrooms get vandalized on a regular basis. One suggestion was to put sharps waste containers in your restrooms so items can be disposed of properly. This has also been discussed about working with the county to have a mental health team, work with the police department when they are confronted with mental illness and homelessness. Jamestown has such a team that works with the police department and it's been a big success. Ultimately, what is needed, according to the committee, is safe, affordable, and permanent housing. And in that regard, I was introduced by the manager of Genesis House to two representatives from the state. Their department works with agencies to access funding for permanent housing. The city of Olean does not have the resources for the programs that are available. However, they will be in the area in November. I plan to schedule a task force meeting during these visits and invite representatives from the county to attend. So as for, you probably had questions about the tents being given out. Yes, Genesis House did give out as a last resort on a Friday afternoon when no one was available to help individuals who requested help. So they did give them a tent and direct them to places where they could set up for a shelter for the night. So we have a task force meeting tomorrow, scheduled meeting, and I have the police department is going to give a presentation on what they've been doing with the homeless that they encounter.
So is this open for the public, or is this in the?
No, it's not open.
Not open to the public.
Is it open for members of the council?
As long as we do not exceed our quorum, which would be 4. So we have Sonia on the committee, so 2 other aldermen could come.
I'd like to do so.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone? McCall?
So, actually when Alderman Crawford had asked me, would I co-sponsor this, I long-term thought that we needed to have something on mental health and substance abuse, and this is a way to kind of get at both of those while also addressing another issue, and that is the issue that people often see. So having developed homeless housing programs in the past, I think there's lots of reasons, and people will say, well, there's a lot of affordable housing. There's a lot of housing available that you would not let your dog sleep in, okay? So let's be clear that when we talk about safe, affordable housing, that's a place, we're not talking about the Taj Mahal, we're not talking about something, but we're talking about something that has walls and light covers and lights that have covers on them and has heat that works and electricity. We are in a bathroom that works. We're talking about the basics. And just to give you some idea too, a single individual in Cattaraugus County actually gets $179 as a rental stipend. That is what you get. Your total cash grant for a single individual is somewhere around $364, somewhere in that ballpark. So when we're talking about it, a number of people that I've seen are individuals who, for some reason, lack resources to be able to. I mean, it's expensive to change housing. It's expensive to move from one apartment to the other. Even my grown kids, when we talk about that and they want to move, you're talking about a couple of $1,000s that you got to put together. And yes, there's resources out there, and there are wonderful resources like Communities That Care, the old Community Action, Genesis House, and others that will help with that. But there is by far not enough. And I read the Facebook posts that say, well, you know, we have too much of this or that. The reality is that we don't have enough safe, affordable housing. And programs that were developed, like the ones I developed, are great. You know why? Because we go in and there's oversight. You know, we provide services to the individual, help them to be able to down the road move into hopefully independent, permanent housing. So I think part of it is an understanding about that and what's actually needed. The other thing we heard a lot is that people come from all over because Cattaraugus County gives so many resources out. First of all, if you want to go in and you're homeless, you're going to go sit at social services for at least a day. And there's no guarantee. Maybe you'll get put up, but they're going to look to see is there anybody else, even 7 states away, that will take you. And if you apply for a cash grant, you have up to 45 days in terms of a waiting period. So it's not like you get to come to Cat County and go to social services and they're like, hey, we have this pot of money, you know, why don't you, you know, we'll find you an apartment. And even if people are put up in a residential, in a one of the hotels or otherwise, they have to call landlords. And my last person must have called each landlord on that list a dozen times before ultimately they found him an apartment in Ellicottville. So, and DSS, Department of Social Services, goal is if somebody presents from another county is to help them get back to that county that they're there, that they came from. It's not to add them to the Cattaraugus County homeless numbers. So in the point in time count, every year there's either, and the challenge is it's the last week of January, which if you think about New York State, doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's how it's been since the beginning of time. And so one year there's a sheltered count and one year there's an unsheltered count. So I think part of it is understanding what you would expect if you had somebody you cared about that needed housing, what you would want them to have. And the one case that DSS, or that not Catholic Charities, because they help also, but Genesis House told us about was a pregnant female. On Friday in the afternoon, let me tell you, nobody is getting anything. There is just not those resources that we have, unless it's code blue. And that'll be coming up shortly. So I think part of it is about educating so people understand what resources we have. And we have, you know, I would love to see a social worker or a counselor and find resources to be able to connect that either on a per diem, on call, or full-time basis with our police to be able to help, because I think our police are they just have so much to do. And then we say, well, you know what, let's give you the social work component too, to go out and manage. And I think that we can help them to do some things that way. One of the things I ask my students, we have a speaker, and actually it's Jody who comes to the the homeless task force, and one of their questions they always have to ask when she comes to speak is, what will it take to end homelessness? And she kind of always is like, oh man, because there's not one answer. And I think that's the part of the challenge is that, you know, anyone who reads the Facebook posts say, well, they've been meeting, what have they done? Part of it was about gathering resources and identifying the problems so that you knew where to kind of put and see what everybody had so you're not duplicating. But it's multifaceted. It's about poverty, mental health, substance abuse, lack of resources, lack of true, safe, affordable housing. And I know that we're always trying to straddle that line between not-for-profits and needing to maintain and retain things on the books so that we can collect taxes. But that is one of the challenges. So I think the task force primary issue going forward is to develop some goals. You know, what do we want to, what is our product out of this? And then to begin to build the steps in to move forward for it.
John?
Thank you. When I think when Sonia and I brought this before the council, the original intention was to start to see some actionable items. Personally, I would like to see, after now over a year since the committee was announced, to see something that goes beyond conversation and strategy, something that actually has some sort of quantitative to get one person off the street, whether we have a plan like Jamestown where someone from one of these agencies meets our OPD on site, whatever this plan is, we got these agencies together, and whether it's one person a month, one person a week, whatever, I think we've got a meeting tomorrow. Personally, I would like to see something that we can actually start to track. You've given us some data and some numbers as far as what the homelessness numbers are. I'd like to see that.
Thanks, John.
Well, I appreciate what you said, Sonia, about unaffordable housing in the city or housing that's not of the quality we would expect. As a city, what are we doing to address that problem? Because that is the feeder to getting housing for individuals. We're not doing anything to address the poor housing conditions we have here in the city. And that's particularly annoying. And the other question I had is, I mean, the pit count was done in January. Is the date mandated? Because if you're going to look for people on the street, winter's not the time to do it. I've been doing statistics my whole life. It looks like the date is picked to artificially depress the population to make it look better. Facts can be manipulated.
So, yes, the federal government said that, and it's been that way, oh my gosh, in the 30 years that I think that some of us have been doing it or close to that. Now, even though that's the case, there is a homeless database that goes on year-round to be able to know how many people were homeless that were served in Cattaraugus County by zip code. So that is an additional resource that goes in, and that's part of the funding that happens for the homeless housing funding through HUD. So that happens, even though the point-in-time count, I always say it works great for Florida, but maybe not so much for New York, because having gone out before when it's frigid, it is. And we live in a rural county, and even Olean has rural areas where there's a camper out there, and is that person camping or are they homeless? And so we have a unique type of homelessness in terms of finding counts. You know, we've gone through, and I remember going down to Gargoyle Park, and I remember one time going down the little side road that's across from BJ's, and Brian Cross, the police officer, coming up behind me because it's dark and I'm looking, right? So you're right. While that part may not be fit best for us, we do also have this point where it is an ongoing database of individuals, so it can also be unduplicated too, so you know who it is. And as for affordable housing, I think it is a matter of, in part, code enforcement, and I think that people do not call codes often because they're fearful that they will be evicted from their apartments. And so they don't call and say, hey, you know, my water hasn't been running, or my toilet doesn't work, the landlord shut this off, or, you know, I have shared electricity and I'm having to pay it. All kinds of things that come up. And I think that, you know, I think it would be good for for codes to give us maybe a report out on how many apartments that they've gone into and inspections and stuff. We got that a while ago, but maybe they could come in and do a kind of a verbal overview and give us feedback as to how many apartments they've gone into, how many they've found deficiencies that need to be fixed, etc. And then, you know, how do they manage in terms of going back and tracking those issues that need to be fixed?
I mean, if we allow landlords to be bad, what you permit, you promote, and we're just reinforcing that and expanding it in the city. We've got to put an end to that.
Chair?
Sonia, what did you say that the average person would get through DSS for living?
So, if you're a single individual, $179.
Okay, and what else would that person get?
So, you will get, SNAP benefits, probably about 300 or
Utilities.
so.
I'm gonna talk about food.
So, if you get HEAP, but when I talk about your cash grant for a single individual is about, I don't know, it's $364 somewhere in there, and whoever's watching from DSS, I'm sure can post in the comments, yes.
And
Yeah,
then you have a 179 housing.
the 364 or thereabouts is inclusive of the 179.
So what I'm saying is, spend a lot of time talking about code violations, which is an issue that we can all agree on. But then you're talking about creating safe and affordable housing. I, as a landlord, couldn't provide a house that could operate at that cost without the landlord, I'm saying me personally, without losing money. So to do this, you have to find a way that somebody else, you're talking about the people getting assistance, you have to find a way so if we're not losing money. No landlord is gonna lose $500 to $800 a month per unit to provide that
Absolutely.
thing, that apartment. So I'm just saying, spend a lot of time kind of talking about people who are, deficient landlords and saying people don't want to provide safe, affordable housing. The operative word that you keep saying is affordable, and it would be operating at a loss for the person.
Yeah, and that's for that, I mean affordable for individuals who are also working and employed and stuff. So when we're talking about that, there are some services that kind of wrap around to kind of pay that additional. There's HUD funds, and HUD, if you're fortunate enough to get a HUD voucher, you pay 30% of your income goes towards the rent, because that's the standard. HUD says that we should spend 30% of our income on housing, just to give you some ideas. So things like the Olean house, Aspen Towers, etc., are subsidized housing components.
Which are mass units with many, many units, but for just the average single, double, or triplex unit, you're talking about a number that, if you break that number down at 179, doesn't even cover somebody's taxes.
No. And that
So,
is
I'm just
definitely
saying,
part
there
of the
needs to be an
issue.
education, maybe you can find some landlords that want to get involved that would do that, but I'm just saying, like, the money doesn't even cover the tax bill, let alone the mortgage or operational cost thereafter, or insurances.
1,000%. I don't think that rate has gone up in, it's gotta be at least well over 20-some years. And so that's where, if we can help somebody get into a program that has the wraparound funds to be able to pay for it, like, Community Action, Communities That Care has some, Recovery Options Made Easy has some, so different programs. I mean, that's ideal, and part of it is knowing what those resources are. But absolutely, yeah, nobody can live anywhere for $179.
So this is a lot of good information, and two things that I pulled out of it is that we need to do more educating, and we need to be more informative. So, I mean, it would be nice to, get an update, the council receive an update from the task force on a more frequent basis, whether that's every month or every 3 months, just to, and as John stated, to, after a year, more quantitative actions, something we can actually measure, that we're actually putting forward to do things. I think that would be great. One thing I did want to jump on, since codes was mentioned and programs was mentioned numerous times, in my notes I had mentioned that there's rumors of programs within the city, and I know the one particular property, there were 2 Facebook posts I think this first one was from Friday, and the other one was literally just 8 hours or a half hour ago. And it's Olean responds to this one particular property for an OD. And then the same exact property, there's a female banging on doors. So with that, just recently we did a PL where we removed the ZBA from the ordinances for the short-term rentals to give more responsibility to city codes. So and the fire chief, I'm glad you're here, I'm not gonna really put you on the spot, but maybe you'll have some input, I don't know. But you mentioned that there was more teeth for violators. So with that, if that is the case, and we have a landowner that is basically using their property as a swinging door to get money, but not actually helping anyone, how do we go about, I don't know, shutting down their money fund? You know what I mean? How do we, can codes go down and inspect this place legally? And those are the types of things that come to mind where I say, you know, I don't know if there's more that we can do legally, or if we just have to sit back and just watch this show. Yeah, I'm on my, watch this show as it takes place. So, I mean, to me, I think if there's landowners that are literally abusing, I'd say, the system and allowing people to come in and just have a frequent door. I mean, that same property, at 5 in the morning, I'm up in the morning going to Tim Hortons, and I literally see 2-3 people there, obviously high, walking slow motion, or yelling, screaming. I mean, people are still sleeping. The noise ordinance right off the bat is violated, just from that alone. So there's things that, you know, like I said, you don't want to necessarily attack anyone that fits this category. You don't want to profile, and you certainly want to have some sort of empathy. But again, to my point, at what point do you say, okay, enough is enough, and then you start to show anger? And that's why I wanted to have this conversation and try to bring more education to this topic, and hopefully we can get some updates. Sonia, I really appreciate the information that you provided, especially with this being your expertise. And thank you, Mayor, for the information that you provided. Is there anything else on this particular topic? I know we beat it to death, but I wanted to make sure I bring it up. All right, well, Tiffany, can we put this back on for this committee? We'll say a month, just to see what's happening in the task force and so get an update there. John.
You guys have standing meetings, but
We try to meet every month. During the summer months, it's difficult because getting people together, but we'll be back on, should be back on schedule now to meet every month, yes.
I was gonna ask that we can put it on kind of revolving after there.
Yeah, well, I was thinking we could play it by ear, because if they only have this one, or if they want to get an update, I mean, I'm pretty sure the mayor's gonna update them on what was discussed tonight, so, we'll play it by ear, but in 1 month, we can revisit this and, try to get some information, and hopefully there's more, as John said, quantitative actions that are happening. So moving on to splash pad update.
Okay, the recent slowdown is visible work on the site is primarily due to delay in the delivery of new featured anchors for the splash pad. These anchors are required before the remaining section of concrete can be poured, and delivery is expected around October 21st. But our packages did arrive, are they in, Jim?
Yes.
Okay, so they are in, so PV paving will be installing them, pouring the remaining concrete for the splash pad, completing the stamped concrete deck, and finishing the remaining site utility work and light pole installation. The goal is to complete all the exterior work by the end of October or early November, but this hinges on delivery of missing equipment from Vortex. Once exterior work is completed, the interior plumbing can be finalized and project will move through the Department of Health review, so that the facility is ready to open to the public at the start of next season.
All right. Any questions or comments on that?
Just, was that the anchors and stuff that you're talking about, was that ever found out to be, it was never received, or it's stuff that's missing, damaged?
That's, we don't have shipping documents from 3 years ago to make that comparison.
Yes, Dave?
Can we also, for a future meeting, put on there a pool update and when that's gonna get renovated and back up and running again?
That is a good one. We can put that on for a committee. What was that, Parks? Lucky you. So you mind? Tiffany, can we have that on for, Parks and Rec? Update on the pool, please. All right, if there's nothing further, PO 87-25 to authorize the removal of unused, non-working lighting on North Union Street. This was the council president's big blunder where I did not, move it, forward to the regular meeting. So I'm sure we don't have any conversation to do on this. So with that, I will motion.
I'll second.
And
John
Bacon will second.
John.
Okay, John?
Yeah, thank you. I thought I had requested last time if we would get any update on information, whether a plan was put in place, because personally I wanted to see the lights replaced, not just taken down, and if there's a way to do that without having to duplicate efforts to have someone take it down, and then whatever, a month or two later, go back and put them back up. I thought there was money set aside, so I remember asking the mayor or DPW or someone to give us if there was any update on that.
Anastasia?
Yeah, I was just checking email. There was an email that was sent Saturday by Director Sprague stating that he attended NICOM school in Albany and had some good news regarding the lights, thinking that they could be saved and repairable, or maybe I'll just turn it over to the director who can explain his email.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I did, at the DPW school, speak with a vendor who had come in and assisted us with the testing on the string lights. He was there as an exhibitor. He does feel that it would be a pretty straightforward retrofit of the street lights to improve the lighting on the street, that there are different heads that we could put on the existing poles to light the street better. And then the string lights, the decorative lights, are going to take more work. Now, I have learned that I guess the original design was for those decorative lights to parallel the street, not cross the street. But I haven't seen that on paper. So in order for us to do decorative lights, we're going to have to invest some calendar time in getting a design done for that. So the current plan as far as conserving effort is we're not going to mobilize to just remove those lights specifically. We will mobilize when it's time to put up Christmas decorations, and they'll come down when the Christmas decorations are going up. Now apparently there are more strings of string lights than there are Christmas decorations. So there may be some string lights that just get removed waiting for the Christmas decorations, but in a location where there's going to be Christmas decorations, they won't mobilize to remove those string lights until they're ready to put up the decorations.
Thank you for that efficiency there. I definitely appreciate that. John, I wanted to allow them to respond to that, but I thought we were looking for that information for a future, but this was separate, so hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, yep, thank you.
All right, and yes, we will circle back on that because as mentioned, the entire council was interested in moving forward with some type of lighting in the downtown district, and the LED lighting became a secondary that now we know that there is something that can be done with that. So I guess we're waiting on the city to present that information to the council. So with that, there was a motion made by Robinson and it was seconded by Binion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, that will be moving forward to the regular meeting. PL 104-25 to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract between the city of Olean and Cataraqui County Land Bank for reimbursement of demolition costs.
Yes, as you can see, the 316 Laurel Avenue has been on, we've discussed this many times, and we have come to, there's an agreement here with the land bank, that the land bank will reimburse, or we'll take it down, the land bank will reimburse us $47,500 for taking that property down, and 330 North 10th Street, they will reimburse us $26,900 for doing that, get ahead of myself here. $26,900 for demo services performed at 311 North 3rd Street. Tiffany, are we doing 3 places or 2?
3. The first amount was for 316 Laurel, and I believe it was 330 North 10th. The other one that's been on the agenda, and then the second amount is for a third property that we have not discussed before, but they're
Oh,
looking.
Ann, I'm sorry, I misread it, thank you. So it's 47.5 for 316 Laurel Avenue and 330 North 10th Street. And then 26.9 reform for 311 South 3rd Street. And the payment from the land bank will be made within 15 days following the completion of the demolition.
Any questions, Tony?
So I was excited to see the bulldozer there when I drove by last week. And I do have a question because I am confident that the total amount, so that is a portion of what it will actually cost the city to bring those down though, correct?
No.
Because,
No, that is the quoted price that Ryan and Code Enforcement got from the company that's taking them down.
okay, because that's less than what we had before, right? Oh, I thought it was.
No,
Okay.
that was re-given it because they were in town working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're here in town working now, so they'll do it for that price.
Yeah, they're doing something else, so that was stated.
Because I thought I remember the quote being somewhere around 100
Yep.
plus.
These are different houses, right?
2 of them are the same, and then 1 is additional.
Yeah,
311 South 3rd we have not talked about before.
right. And because they're here already, they don't have to mobilize, so we're able to save us a significant amount by having them here in the city already.
That works for me. Any other questions or comments on this one? I'll entertain a sponsor.
I'll sponsor.
Sponsored by McCall, second by Binion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, that will move forward to tonight's regular meeting. PL 105-25 to adopt the Cattaraugus County Office of Emergency Services Mutual Aid Plan.
Chief, would you like to talk on this?
Sure. So, all of the fire departments in Cattaraugus County operate under a fire department mutual aid plan. I think most of you are familiar with that. This is an EMS mutual aid plan that the county would like to get us into. It pretty much mirrors how the fire one works. We respond if we're able to, and vice versa.
All right. Any questions or comments? Short, sweet, simple. McCall?
So will this affect or billing? Is there anything we would be billing?
Nothing really changes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're currently doing EMS mutual aid, and this plan formalizes it, puts it in writing, but operationally, nothing changes. We still bill the patient. If we transport the patient, if it's an intercept, and we, our paramedic gets on the ambulance, a volunteer, or a Salmaker ambulance or something, we can bill the fire department or EMS department directly.
Okay,
Intercept service.
perfect.
All right. No further questions? I'll entertain a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Sponsored by Carrie, seconded by McCall. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, PL 107-25 to support Senate Bill S 84181 and Assembly Bill A.8 996, authorizing local governments to opt out of mandates under the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, CLCPA. Mayor?
Yeah, this was brought forward by the Senator's office and the Senator's office. And this is just another way of, in short, saying that we'll give people a choice from having, instead of going all electric, to maintain their gas, natural gas.
All right, any questions on this one? All right, seeing none, I'll make a motion. Can I get a second? Second by Anastasia, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that moves forward to the regular meeting. And then PL 108-25 to support Senate Bill S.1945 and House of Representatives Bill H.R.3699, the Energy Choice Act, in opposition to government mandated natural gas bans. Mayor?
Okay, this is a federal bill that would do the same thing, that would give people a choice. This would be a federal bill that would give everyone a choice on either electric or natural gas.
All right, so again, I mean, this particular PL, I mean, we say, the PLs are not gonna do anything, but, you know, your constituents want you to voice or be the voice for them. And this is basically a way of being a voice for your constituents and saying, hey, we disagree with this particular situation here where we're being told we have to go strictly gas. So with that, any questions or comments on that? John?
Thank you. So I have no problem supporting the resolution that was prior to this because it comes from the state level. This is a state issue, and I fully support asking our state representatives to expand the use of natural gas. However, this particular legislation is written, at least the way it's written, is having the federal government protect citizens' freedom of energy choice. And my understanding is the federal government is, along with the congressman, is pushing these choice issues back down to individual state levels, whether it's education or fracking or abortion or any of these issues. So I believe it's an inconsistent approach and an overreach of authority, so I'll be voting no on this. I don't think the federal government should be able to dictate that it's a state issue. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I know myself particularly with this one, I'm not opposed because I don't have a problem with agreeing regardless of where I stand politically. However, I know once I read through this and I saw that try to get the name right here. Nick Langworthy is on this particular one, and I was excited when the city of Olean was granted, or supposedly granted money for the water treatment plant, and then we did not receive it, so, but keeping it simple and in the box, I do support this particular PL despite. So thanks, John, for mentioning that. Anyone else on this particular one? All right, I'll entertain your sponsor. Carrie? Sorry. We get a second? I'll second. All right, Bingham will second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, that will move
Opposed.
forward. Opposed by John. All right. We have another one here. PL 110-25 to amend the City of Olean ordinance to remove section 1027 ambulance board. Benny?
Eric could probably explain the ambulance board.
Sure. Fire chief?
So in the code of ordinances, there's a ambulance board. It has not met, to my knowledge, since since I was hired in 2009. I do believe it was formed in the early 90s, potentially because there was some controversy between commercial ambulance services and municipal ambulance services. I don't see a need for it. Alderman Benyon suggested removing it. I don't have a problem with it.
All right, any questions? Basically, housekeeping. We're removing a section in Code of Ordinance that we basically don't use. And just to shine a little light on that topic, we currently have a Cat County EMS Advisory Board, is that correct?
Yeah, there's various boards. There's an EMS advisory board. There's a Western Regional EMS board. There's a Southwestern board. I can't keep them all straight. Either I go or one of my captains goes in my place. We alternate for each other when we can't make it. A lot of the same people that are in the ordinance, you know, the physician from the hospital, the the union representative, the fire chief, council members. A lot of these same people are on these other boards.
All right, thank you, Chief. So again, we're just eliminating the redundancy, and we already have other organizations that exist for our city and the county. All right, so with that, I'll entertain a sponsor. Sponsored by Bingen. Carrie will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this will be referred to the Tuesday, October 28th, to allow time for required publication to the change. All right, if there's nothing else for this committee, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Give it a second.
Second.
Second by Anastasia, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. And gavel. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the common council for Tuesday, October 14th. Will the clerk please call the attendance roll?
Alderman Benyon. Here. Alderman Carey.
Here.
Alderwoman Forney.
Here.
Alderwoman McCall.
Here.
Alderman Crawford.
Here.
Alderman Anastasia.
Here.
And President Robinson.
Here. Please rise for the, I'm sorry.
All present.
Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, please.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of this community. In your name we pray.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Reading, correcting, and approval of the minutes from the previous meeting.
The regular meeting of the Olean Common Council was held on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 at 6:35 p.m. Present were Alderman Robinson, Benyon, Carey, Forney, McCall, Crawford, and Anastasia, and none were absent.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes. Second by Bingen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Committee reports and unfinished council business.
None.
Communication from the mayor.
Thank you. Special proclamation for National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Frank, did you read that?
Whereas National Breast Cancer Awareness Month honors women who lost their lives to breast cancer and recognizes the survivors who courageously continue to fight the disease. Whereas almost 13% of the female population will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. But death rates have been dropping since 1989. This decrease, primarily in women younger than 50, is believed to be a result of early detection through screening, increased awareness, and better treatments. Therefore, in recognition that increased awareness is a tool in fighting breast cancer, I, William J. Alio, Mayor of the City of Olean, on behalf of the Common Council, do hereby proclaim October as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Olean. Furthermore, I commend the Olean professional firefighters for wearing special shirts to honor those who have fought the disease, and I urge all women and their families in the city of Olean to get the facts out about mammography and other screening methods. In testimony thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the city of Olean the 14th day of October 2025. For the city of Olean, New York, William J. Alio, Mayor.
So with us tonight, we have Captain Atherton's crew, the Olean Fire Department, and these are the shirts that they'll be wearing all month and to commemorate the awareness for breast cancer. So, Chief, you ought to introduce everybody there. Can you do that, please?
Sure. It's Captain Atherton on the right, firefighter Alex Austin, firefighter Bryce Schoonover, Lieutenant Kyle Howard, firefighter Jake Parr, and firefighter John Kratz.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and Chief. I'm always about promoting something good on social media, especially for the city, considering all of the negativity that you see. So it'll be nice to see a picture of your squads, maybe go to individually, just sporadically throughout the month with representing their shirts and to carry on the proclamation there for breast cancer.
We probably do.
That'd be nice.
Proclamation, so.
Yeah, we can do that.
Tiffany, can you take a picture, please?
Yeah, take it easy. Oh, ready for widescreen.
Thank you all. Thanks for coming, everybody. Okay. Also, as an update on the Allegheny River, as we did at the last meeting, I believe, last council meeting, we approved the new consent order that the state gave us. So you asked me to have the milestones put up. So I sent this to you guys, I believe, I can't remember if I sent it twice or not, if I sent it last week or not, but I sent it to you. There's 6 milestones that we have to complete. These will be going up on the website, and then the updates as we complete them will be on there too. So this will be going up on the website tomorrow. I believe I gave each one of you, emailed each one of you a copy. Just so I'll let you know that.
Thank you.
And I'm good, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, clerk, miscellaneous communication,
None.
city official reports.
Monthly report of the city auditor, month ended September 2025. Fiscal summary as of September 30, 2025.
Proposed legislation and referrals.
PL 104-25 by Mayor Alio, referred to Committee of the Whole, October 14, 2025 by Council President. PL number 105-25 by Mayor Alio, referred to Committee of the Whole, Tuesday, October 14, 2025 by Council President. PL number 106-25 by Mayor Alio, referred to regular meeting Tuesday, October 14, 2025 for resolution by Council President. PL number 107-25 by Mayor Alio, referred to Committee of the Whole Tuesday, October 14, 2025 by Council President. PL number 108-25 by Mayor Alio, referred to Committee of the Whole Tuesday, October 14, 2025 by Council President. PL number 109-25 by Council Alderman Benyon, referred to regular meeting Tuesday, October 14, 2025, for resolution by council president. PL number 110-25 by Alderman Benyon, referred to committee of the whole Tuesday, October 14, 2025, by council president.
All right, finance and bills,
None.
Resolutions.
Resolution number 85-25, PL number 87-25, out of committee by Alderman Robinson and seconded by Alderman Benyon, to authorize the removal of unused, non-working lighting on North Union Street.
Second, those sponsors are backwards.
Sponsored, I'm sorry, I don't know, did you mention?
Robinson and Ben?
Robinson and Benyon? Okay,
Yes.
that's what it came out of committee.
This time.
Yeah. All right, any questions or comments on that? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon?
Yes.
Alderman Carey?
Yes.
Alderwoman Forney?
No.
Alderwoman McCall?
Yes.
Alderman Crawford?
No.
Alderman Anastasia?
Yes.
And President Robinson.
Yes.
Resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 nays. Resolution number 102-25, PL number 104-25, out of committee by Alderwoman McCall, seconded by Alderman Benyon, to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract between the Cattaraugus County Land Bank Corporation and the city of Olean for reimbursement for the demolition of properties within the city of Olean.
All right, any questions or comments on this one?
I just actually have, do we actually have a time frame of when the demolition might occur?
No.
Okay, just so I can let residents know.
They're mobilized, they're here, so.
Okay, cool. And there's a huge bulldozer in front of the one.
I'll talk to codes tomorrow, I'll talk to Ryan, and see what the timeline is, and let you know.
Thank you.
John wants to.
All right, Anastasia, oh, sorry. Crawford?
I just want to thank everyone, and, I also want to give some kudos to Sonia on her representation. I know she's been after this property for a long time. We work with codes, and I was just very appreciative to codes and working with the Cattaraugus County Land Bank. This certainly, is a way to get these properties down and save us a bunch of money, the taxpayers. So thank you for everybody's work on this.
Thanks, John. So we're good, no more questions? All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon.
Yes.
Alderman Carey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Forney.
Yes.
Alderwoman McCall.
Yes.
Alderman Crawford.
Yes.
Alderman Anastasia.
Yes.
And President Robinson.
Yes.
The resolution passes unanimously. Resolution 103-25, PL number 105-25, out of committee by Alderman Carey and seconded by Alderwoman McCall, to adopt the Cattaraugus County Office of Emergency Services, Emergency Medical Services Mutual Aid Plan.
All right, this was discussed in the committees. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon.
Yes.
Alderman Carey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Forney.
Yes.
Alderwoman McCall.
Yes.
Alderman Crawford.
Yes.
Alderman Anastasia.
Yes.
And President Robinson.
Yes.
Resolution passes unanimously. Resolution 104-25, PL number 106-25. Resolution authorizing the transfer of funds from Capital Fund number 193 to capital funds number 225 and number 241, and to authorize and direct the city auditor to close capital funds number 193 and number 225.
All right, this was discussed in committees, and this will actually take funding that was left over from Washington Street project and place it into the long outstanding balance of Lawrence Street project, and the remaining balance will go into the Wayne Street project where we had started spending there. Any questions or comments on that one, committee? Seeing none, we'll need sponsors. Binion,
I'll sponsor.
and second by Crawford. All right, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon.
Yes.
Alderman Carey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Forney.
Yes.
Alderwoman McCall.
Yes.
Alderman Crawford.
Yes.
Alderman Anastasia.
Yes.
And President Robinson.
Yes.
Resolution passes unanimously. Resolution number 105-25, PL number 107-25, out of committee by President Robinson and Alderman Anastasia. Resolution in support of S.8481 and A.8996, authorizing local governments to opt out of mandates under the Climate Leadership and Community Partnership Act.
All right, this one was discussed. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon.
Yes.
Alderman Carey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Forney.
Yes.
Alderwoman McCall.
Yes.
Alderman Crawford.
Yes.
Alderman Anastasia.
Yes.
And President Robinson.
Yes.
Resolution passes unanimously. Resolution number 106, PL number 108-25, out of committee by Alderman Carey and seconded by Alderman Benyon, to support Senate Bill S-1945 and House Representatives Bill H.R. 3699, the Energy Choice Act, in opposition to government-mandated natural gas bans.
All right, this one was discussed, in committee of the whole. Any questions or comments on this particular one? All right, seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon.
Yes.
Alderman Carey.
Yes.
Alderwoman Forney.
Yes.
Alderwoman McCall.
Yes.
Alderman Crawford.
No.
Alderman Anastasia.
Yes.
And President Robinson.
Yes.
The resolution passes 6 ayes, 1 nay. Resolution number 107-25, PL number 109-25, out of committee by Alderman Carey, seconded by Alderman Benyon, to authorize the installation of Salvation Army directional signs. This isn't right. Is this on the agenda? Yep. The Salvation Army?
Yep.
Yeah,
Did? Okay. I'm sorry. Resolution number 107-25, PL number 109-25, to authorize the installation of Salvation Army directional signs at the corners of East State Street and Front Street, and Delaware Avenue and Front Street.
All right, this one was discussed in committees. I did not speak much on this because I wanted to let it play out. But I am completely opposed to installing signs for business along our city roads. I think when it comes to the wayfinder, if this was going to be put on a wayfinder sign, say it was a museum or a historical building or a city building or a federal building, something of that nature, I think then that would be perfectly within the realms. But once we start getting to the point where we have an organization that is looking for a sign placed on certain blocks because their company can't be found, I think we open up a can of worms for other organizations to start popping up saying, hey, AutoZone, their lights go out on their sign. Hey, we want to sign up on 10th and State Street just to let people know we're right here, you know, and it just goes on and on and on. So for me, tonight, this particular one, because of the way it's written out, will be a no. It is stipulated in here that the Salvation Army officials shall coordinate with the DPW directors to arrange for the installation and placement of these signs, which they will be responsible for paying. So with that, any other comments on the call?
So I would echo that. I actually have concerns. I mean, we've been reserved in our placing signs before, and I think that we set precedent. And yes, there's a sign up for, I think, one of the other churches, but the question is, are we willing to let all the churches and businesses that want a directional sign, are we willing to grant access? And if we're not, then I think that we need to be mindful of what we're doing here, because we will set a precedent it will be hard to say no to every single church, not-for-profit, or business, theoretically, that asks.
Anyone else?
I just have a question. So I know we have some signage in Olean, and are those just for historical landmarks or directionals for like trails or things like that?
We can direct that to you, the answer?
Yeah, I brought it forward, Jen, but I can't talk on it or vote on it. I provide direct contracting services for them. But there's a couple other churches that have them. There's one over on the corner, on the east corner of North 9th Street, pointing to Trinity Methodist. So there are some, they're just on a single sign pole by themselves. They're white with some blue border, and they just kind of point to the direction, saying that the church is that direction.
I only asked that, I remember way back in the day, working for one of the hotels, and another hotel came in and put directionals on, like, this hotel down, and, you know, they had to remove them, because then all the other hotels, it became a thing, right? Well, we want our signs up too, so people know where to go. So I get both points. I get it's a nonprofit, and it's helpful, you know, to the community as well, and so being able to find that. But I also get where now we have other nonprofits, and that might now become something that we have to work with.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was something that if they want to bring this back and say, hey, we will pay to get on the Wayfarers, I don't know how, what is it, Wayfinder sign? I mean, that's fine, because that is a city sign where it's in a particular location, and we're not just popping up a sign on random streets for random locations and so forth. But yes, for this particular one. And then as far as the older signs, I mean, they predate the council. So we can't speak to those and the history on how they got there and what was involved. But I know for this current council, we have been reserved in this particular topic. So I think I want to stick with that. So with that,
One more.
yeah.
So I went through the code, and actually it does not meet the intent of the article for these signs to be put up. So even though I was the sponsor for it, I will be voting no on this as well.
All right. So with that, the sponsors.
I don't think there were sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie and JR.
Oh, sorry. I didn't write it down.
All right. So with that, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Benyon.
Abstain.
Alderman Gary.
No.
Alderwoman Forney.
No.
Alderwoman McCall.
No.
Alderman Crawford.
No.
Alderman Anastasia.
No.
And President Robinson.
No.
The resolution passes 6 nays and 1 abstention.
All right, says that.
What?
Didn't
No.
pass.
Didn't pass.
No,
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry,
It's the
it did
opposite
not
way.
pass, it failed.
0-6-1.
it's like a football score.
If I could give 0-6-1 bills.
The team I passed.
Frank, did you say 0-6-1?
0-6.
No ayes, 6 nays, 1 abstention.
For the record. All right, with that, we're moving on to public comment. Before we do so, I want to open up to any aldermen or other women that would like to speak about anything.
Okay, I have something.
We have a taker?
So I want to thank everybody who came out to support the African American Cultural Center and raise money for that. Thank you. And then also, we have signs up all over, but the Shops on Union will be having on October 25th from 11:30 to 1:30. They will be having a trick or treat for kids, and there will be some limited on both East State and West State in terms of Ward 4. So they're excited to be able to do that. And then thank you, Mayor, for the proclamation for breast cancer awareness. And I guess I would encourage people to utilize this month to both reflect and find opportunities to support our local agencies and the individuals who are survivors and who have passed from breast cancer.
I concur. 2 things. One, is there a flyer out for the October 25th?
There is, and I can send it out to you guys. I think we have close to 20 businesses signed up.
Okay. I'd like to just put it out on the Facebook page. It seems pretty good with sharing that information. And then to piggyback on the breast cancer awareness, get your mammograms done. So with that, clerk, please read the public comment statement.
The public comment portion of the Common Council regular meeting is established to provide members of the community with the opportunity to publicly state their views, voice their concerns, or to provide input pertaining to any issue affecting city government. Additionally, the mayor, common council members, and city department heads encourage any person with questions to contact them at their offices.
All right, so if you would like to speak to the council, you will have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Please be mindful of others. Anyone? Anyone?
Right here. Okay, as a lifetime resident of Olean, I find it very disturbing that our wonderful little community does not feel safe anymore.
Excuse me. Name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're right.
Karen Callahan, 2075 Hillcrest Avenue, Olean. Okay, so as a lifetime resident of Olean, I find it very disturbing that our wonderful little community does not feel safe anymore. I've been an avid walker for over 40 years, and it just keeps getting worse and worse as far as feeling safe, even in broad daylight. One man was blocking me from side to side as I tried walking by him just the other day. I just circled way over to the grass to get by him. My friend, who could not be present tonight, asked me to talk about the walking trail. She said she does not feel safe. There are so many homeless people hanging on the trail, and she turns around because she is terrified that they may come after her. So the other day, I was at my office. I work at Remax on Point, and they said some people sold 2 cars within like 25 minutes of each other. Don't know if it has anything to do with homeless. But right after, I was walking in North Olean with my girlfriend, and a car pulled over abruptly and started screaming that someone with ski masks had just gone into their backyard and stole their mini bike, and asked if we had seen them, and we hadn't. So we kept walking a little bit further, and another couple pulled us over again and said that people with ski masks had just tried to break into their house. And I know this might not have anything to do with homeless people, but it just shows you that Olean just does not feel safe anymore. I saw one homeless gentleman the other day on a nice bike. I've always seen him on foot every day, so I'm pretty sure he probably snatched that bike from somebody. Okay, so one guy was also standing on the corner with a loose dog holding a sign that said something stupid like, "We'll suck your toes for money," with a big dog standing loose beside. I immediately crossed the street. Then I run into another homeless person swearing, ranting, and raving. At that point, I just rushed to get to my car and called it quits. I've said this at a previous meeting. I believe we should help our Olean community people. There are enough people that need assistance. One example is my son, my oldest son, died abruptly 1.5 years ago, and he did suffer with some mental illness. And I, since then, have had 2 golf tournaments where the first year we raised $15,000, and I donated it to Cat County Pros Program and Miriam Center for Hope and Healing. This year we raised $20,000, and I donated the $20,000 to them. But I feel like bringing people here and house from Buffalo and other surrounding areas is irresponsible and detriment to our city and our taxpayers. As good stewards of the community, it is our responsibility to ensure the safety of our citizens above all else. So I believe in helping people with mental health, but I feel like there's so many people coming from out of town and so many strange faces that are just roaming the streets, stealing things, going to people's yards and into people's houses, and that's what I have a problem with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, hi. Hi, my name is Lisa Simon, and I'm from Washington DC, Virginia, Maryland area, and we just renovated my family's home, my husband's family home on 330 North 3rd Street. It was an eyesore at one point, but now it's beautiful once again. We just bought a business, the old Sage Building, 1115 West State Street, and we are coming back to the community. I sat here and listened to Kathy and her concerns. I've been here for 3 days working on the building. I welcome any of you to come by and say hello. It is my pleasure to be a part of this community once again, but it saddens me to see how many people walk by on drugs, leaning against my building, me going out and saying, "Are you okay?" Who do I call? It's not public to the community to reach out to anybody, so what do? Exhaust the fire department, the police department? Who do we call? What are we supposed to do? I sat here and listened to you guys talking about the homeless and what's going on in this community, but I hear the thing that worries me. Next meeting, let's wait a month. Let's discuss it during the winter time. Let's get the numbers. That's not gonna do anything for us. We need to act now as a community. Come together. I offer my services and my building to be a part of this community, and I ask you all to help us, the people who are trying to make a living, to survive, but also to help those young kids who are strung out on drugs, laying on my property, worried about if they're gonna die on my property, lighting fires behind my building just to stay warm. It's more than just providing housing. It's, like you said, providing the needs of counseling. You right, Mayor, we can't get them to come to, or to take the services that they provide, that we provide. So what's the next step? What are we doing? Nothing. That's all I hear is, what I've heard today is we're just putting on the next meeting. So I ask you today, come stop by my building, say hello, introduce yourself to me. I'm new. You want money to come in here, you want a great community to flourish, it's gonna take a lot of people. And I'm one of those people, so please stop by. Thank you for your time and your attention. You all have a great evening, and God bless.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Nigga with no nuts. Ohio, Chonegano, Tanoge. I just want to state my concern and my disappointment into the lack of communication, failure of communication. It's my understanding that the task force that was formed for the protection of the Ohio, along with Olean City Council and the Seneca Nation of Indians, has failed. Somebody, last I knew, meetings were canceled. Nothing's rescheduled. I don't know, things are up in the air. So the other thing that I want to state my concern about, Mr. Robinson, you had mentioned earlier that you guys didn't receive the grant money that you're supposed to get to fix this problem, if I heard right. That's terrible. That's horrible. Who's responsible for that? DEC? I already got issues with the DEC. Got a bone to pick with them. They're next on my list. Let alone what's going here, what's going on here, what's going on over there in Franklinville. Are you guys being updated? Are you guys monitoring your water like you said you were? There's things that I'm waiting for. There's information that's supposed to be posted on your website that has still not been posted. I heard the mayor make mention this evening of some more information that they're going to be putting up there. Got all this stuff that you're going to say you're going to put up there before it hasn't gone up there yet. Get your IT. Somebody on the computers. Do some work. So I got to gather some information here and find out what's going on. So when I come back in 2 weeks, I request a update as to the progress that has been made and what's going on and what's your communication and your understanding of the happening there in Franklinville with Issue of Creek. Anyway.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Kayla Schaefer, I'm a resident of Salamanca. I just kind of want to echo what Diego Winota said about the lack of communication. I've been coming to these meetings since March, and we've asked for the same thing over and over and over again. And I also want to echo what the woman said about, a different issue, but hearing the same thing. Next meeting, we'll have an update. We've repeatedly talked about how all we want is for you to share the information on the website so that we can update ourselves. It takes a lot for me after a 9 or 10 hour workday to drive 30 minutes here to sit in these meetings to listen to resolutions that largely don't affect me, just to get an update about the one issue that does affect me, which is the cleanliness of the water that flows right past my house. It's increasingly frustrating to continue to just ask for information. That's all we're asking for. I'm similarly really concerned that the DEC didn't come through with their grant. What does that mean about the fact that the consent order has been moved up significantly? I want to solve this issue, and all we're asking for is information so that we can track the issue and know where our efforts should be directed. But right now, they're directed here, because this is the only way we can get information, and it's incredibly frustrating. And the only other thing I'll say is in regard to the support of the resolutions for local governments to opt out of the environmental acts that are being put into place by the state and federal government. I mean, what I've seen of this issue is that if it wasn't for the state government, this issue may have never been fixed. And so I hope you understand how concerning it is to hear the desire to be able to opt out of similar direction in the future. Thank you.
All right. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? All right. Call public closed. Mayor?
As we all know, the neighboring community, the village of Allegheny's mayor passed away. So I would appreciate if we adjourn in memory of Mayor Greg Pearl.
All right, no other questions or comments? I will make a motion in honor of Greg Pearl, mayor of the village, is the village of Allegheny?
Village of Allegany, yes.
I'll make that motion. Second by Anastasia, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.